the Oakland Raiders. ABC's NFL Monday Night Football, the Miami Dolphins against the Oakland Raiders, is brought to you by Buick, where you'll find very fine cars and very good thinking. And everything from Riviera and the mid-size Century and Regal to the amazing front-wheel drive Skylark. And by Lanier Business Products, creators of the no-problem electronic typewriter, the typewriter that does more than just type. We were stunned by the Jets 27-33. They need a win tonight to stay abreast of the New England Patriots. Frank Gifford, along with Don Meredith and Fran Tarkenton. Howard, again, as I mentioned, is in Baltimore for the beginning of the World Series between Baltimore and Pittsburgh. Tomorrow night, you'll see it right here on ABC. A lot of question marks for the Oakland Raiders. Dave Casper will start, as you see. He came into camp, this great All-Pro, number 87, a week before the season began. He was fighting for renegotiation of his contract. They finally resolved that. Casper is in the lineup. But the man who plays also for the Oakland Raiders in a tight end position is Raymond Chester. You'll see a lot of him tonight because he's tied for the lead in receptions after 5 games in the entire NFL. Ira Matthews has dropped deep for the Oakland Raiders. To kick off, Uba von Schaumann, a rookie out of Oklahoma, 7th-round draft pick, and he pumps it. And it will be Larry Brunson from his 5-yard line, and we're underway from Oakland, California. And Brunson breaks the tackle at the 27-yard line, moves out of bounds up close to the 38-yard line. Larry Brunson, who was acquired from Kansas City a year ago just to do what you saw right there. Look at it, Don.
All right, that's his way I like to stop him up, man. He's got it going. Good kick. Let's see what happened. Francis, what did he do?
He caught it.
He caught it. Now he's taking some steps upfield. Just set up pretty good. They're trying to move it over to the outside. Missed tackle right there. Came up. Casper's looking around to hit somebody, which he did. Knocked him out of bounds. First down.
33-yard return. Oakland with a 2 tight end offense. Casper's in there, as is Raymond Chester, but this is Mark Van Eegen. Piled up at the middle as he moves over the 41-yard line. Gain of 3. It'll be 2nd down and 7. Let's meet the offense. Of course, Kenny Stabler is the quarterback, number 12. Mark Van Eegen looking for another 1,000-yard season. Wide receivers, well, Cliff Branch can really pour it on. But we are going to see, I think, a lot of 2 tight ends tonight. That will be Raymond Chester and Dave Casper. They were very effective against the Denver Broncos last week. The ball at the 41-yard line. 2nd down and 7. Beautiful night for football here in Oakland. Temperature just right. Twilight setting in. Stabler back and looking. Fires, and this is Raymond Chester, his 26th reception of the season. He has a first down. He's in Miami territory inside the 49-yard line. Hit there by Kim Bocamper. And let's meet that defensive unit for the Miami Dolphins. And like the Oakland Raiders, they'll move in and out of a 3-4 to a 4-3. The front 3, Bocamper in the middle, the nose guard, 73, flanked by Vern Denherter, 83, and Doug Betters, and there they are. The linebackers, well, Kim Bocamper is a one tough dude. He will get into a down position, defensive end, when Miami wants to go to a 4-3. Secondary, Gerald Small, second-year man out of San Jose State at the right corner, is having a tremendous year. And this is Derek Jensen on the 1st and 10, and he gets to the 45-yard line.
I think an interesting thing to watch here, Frank and Don starting out, is Stabler's protection. We know that if Stabler gets a lot of protection, which he's used to, he's very dangerous. The Dolphins have not rushed the passer well this year. They've only got 5 sacks. If they're going to have any chance against Stabler defensively, they've got to put some heat on him.
That is an interesting stat. Only 5 sacks by the Dolphins, and nevertheless, they have 10 interceptions back in that backfield. They're quick back there. Foley, Small. On 2nd down and 7, Stabler to the air. Flag is down.
Oh, yeah.
Raymond Chester has the ball. And he gets to the 32-yard line, corralled there by Larry Gordon. But again, a flag is put down, and it usually is an area where they're going to get a holding call, and that's the story.
He got plenty of time to throw. That might have been one of the reasons.
It sometimes helps. Our referee tonight, Dick Jorgensen, he'll be giving us the calls. Holding call against Oakland.
Holding, number 78, offense, still 2nd down.
Art Shell, who was just activated today, holding for the Oakland Raiders. Steve Sylvester, by the way, has opened at center for the Oakland Raiders. Dave Dalby, who would have started tonight in his 106th consecutive game for the Raiders at center, was unable to go because of an injured knee against the Broncos. Second down, 16. Stabler. Screen to Van Egan. He drops it.
Oh, it was set up too. Got the 4 down lineman that time. They tried to put a little bit rush on him. Let him in. He was wide open. Had 3 guys out in front, and there wasn't but 1 guy, Francis.
They, you know, the interesting thing there, I watched, they took Casper out on a passing situation. You know, that tells you something about your depth, or I don't know what it tells you, but I'd hate to see, if I had a Casper, I'd like to see him on the field when I come to a passing situation myself.
Maybe they're trying to fool him and say, we're not going to pass. It's a trick.
And they take Casper out. They bring in a youngster named Rich Martini as a speedster out of the University of California, Davis. They like him a great deal. Looking over a 3rd and 17, we have Martini in there as wide receiver with Cliff Branch. The tight end is Raymond Chester.
If I'd had a Martini to play on my team, that'd have been fun.
Stabler has the time, finds a receiver, incomplete. The attempt to Raymond Chester, it'll be 4th down. And we'll see the punting unit for the Oakland Raiders, and that means one of the best who's ever punted a football, Ray Guy.
I think he missed old Chester that time. Looked like Raymond was open there for a while.
I guess if you're a quarterback, it gets into your head. You have a mental clock back there. I guess both of you 2 guys would know better than anyone. You know how much time you got. And I think Kenny thought, well, things are going to fall on me here in a moment. Deep is Tony Nathan, a rookie 3rd-round draft pick out of Alabama. There he is. 5th in the AFC with a 10.6 average, and Ray Guy will boom it. Turned over in. Tony Nathan. At his 19, he slips and sprawls to the 20-yard line, a 36-yard punt. And Miami will have their first possession at their own 21-yard line when we return to Oakland after this. The Miami Dolphins, 4-1 on this young NFL season, move up to the line of scrimmage, directed by Bob Greasy. Their first possession, the ball at the 21-yard line. Larry Zonk is in there as one setback, 39, along with Del Williams, number 24. And this is Del Williams, former San Francisco 49er, who moves briskly out of the 25 to the 26, a gain of 5. It'll be 2nd and 5. And let's take a look at this offensive unit for the Dolphins. I told you about Del Williams and Larry Zonka. He's the short yardage man. Nat Moore, in just 6 years, has become the Dolphins' all-time leading receiver. Jimmy Cephalo, a second-year man out of Penn State, the other wide receiver. He's in there because Duriel Harris has a muscle pull and cannot go tonight. There's your offensive line. It is a good one. You heard Zonka tell you that. 2nd down, long 5, handoff, the big one. Zonk, he found a big opening, and like a Mack truck, he roared through it for a 1st down. Out to the 35 to 36, 1st down Miami. Let's take a look at him again.
All right, here's Big Zonk. Some people don't think this Oakland defensive line is big enough to handle a man the size of Zonka. But he weighs 235, 240, and that's tough for that free safety to have to make that tackle, although Mr. Tatum is very capable of doing it, although he didn't take him on head on, did he?
No, he's getting smarter. And Ed Newman had to have the blot, number 64. He moved him out of there in pretty good shape.
And in the center, Jim Langer, 1st down for the Zonk. Ball just over the 35-yard line. Nat Moore is in motion. Zonk gets the call again. Left side, just shakes off one Oakland Raider and pounds out to the 40-yard line. A gain of 4. It'll be 2nd and 6 defensively for the Oakland Raiders, and they will change tonight. They open with a 3-4. That's what you're looking at the moment. Dave Pear, they got him from Tampa a year ago. He's been something. There is your linebacking core. The man that will come out will be Monty Johnson when they go to a 4-3. And defensively, a secondary that is troubled. Monty Jackson, an all-pro with the Rams, acquired last year. Defensive right cornerback is out of there with a bad knee. And Henry Williams, a rookie from San Diego State, is in there. Could be vulnerable. 2nd down and 6, Miami. Quick toss, Del Williams. He's following Larry Little. And Williams goes out of bounds at the 44-yard line, short of the 1st down. It'll be 3rd down and 2. Mike Davis over there defensively for Oakland. Del Williams, he wasn't a bad acquisition. Fran, would you say?
I think they did all right. I know Delvin is really pleased to be where he is. He has said, you know, I could have had a good year last year behind this offensive line. Everybody keeps talking about this offensive line. I think there's some good reasons for it. And, of course, he was involved in the San Francisco trade that got O.J. Simpson there. And Delvin said, you know, I know if O.J. had been down here in Miami, he could have gotten over that 1,000 yards, too. And I might have had a separated shoulder like O.J. had.
They gave a 1st and a 5th to San Francisco for Del Williams. Greasy now looking over a long 3rd and 2 as they mark the ball at the 43. Greasy gets loose from one defender. A flag is down, however. It was Ted Hendricks on the blitz, but a flag is downfield. It could have some kind of interference.
And Greasy almost is too. Man, did he take a shot. Reggie Kinlaw, I believe it was, came up and hit him.
It fogged up his glasses there, I think, didn't it? That's a tough shot.
Kinlaw is, of course, the man who comes in when Oakland wants to go to their 4-3 defense, and we're going to get the holding call. It goes against Oakland, as you see indicated. Again, the call. We'll hear the offender.
Defense, first down.
I think he said 37, didn't he? I didn't hear it.
I think he said 57, which would have been John Huddleston if he did. You know, Don, I really think that Greasy's his best when he's got that good running game going for him. And this year, they haven't run the ball as good as Miami Dolphin teams have in the past. Some people think it's because they're getting a little age on the right side.
Jim Garner, he's a devoted Oakland Raider fan. Jimmy Buffett also dropped by the booth. They've got some celebrity fans. Another flag is down. Greasy wants a bundle.
Got him. He's got him.
Oh, boy. Going deep, intended down there for Duriel Harris. And he did not look as though on that sprint that the muscle pull that has been bothering him was bothering then. Lester Hayes was down there defensively for the Oakland Raiders. And he took quite a fall. But again, a flag is down at the line of scrimmage. Illegal motion. It goes against the Miami Dolphins.
Well, they're having a little trouble getting it settled down here so far. It'll all work.
Phil Villapiano, the acting defensive captain, number 41.
Illegal motion, number 84. Offense, decline, second down.
Tied in, Bruce Hardy. Illegal motion for the Miami Dolphins. It'll be second down and 10. The penalty declined by Oakland. 5-man secondary now for the Oakland Raiders. Rufus Bess, a free agent out of South Carolina State, comes in there defensively for Oakland. Bob Greasy, 53.5% thus far this year. Missed a lot of the Minnesota games. Strock came in, won that when he missed all of the Bear game, and came back last week against the Jets. Second and 10. Ball at the 48-yard line.
Whoa.
Greasy did not get it off, and I believe there was no motion. He gets back on the football. Rod Martin on the blitz caught Bob Greasy before he could unleash the ball, and Mike Current was there for Miami to fall on the football and make the save. But there's a loss of about 6 yards back to the 42-yard line.
You know, that's interesting play, Don. I've had it happen to me many times. He actually went with the motion. He tried to go with the motion. The ball slipped out, and that ball has a glaze on it as you start the game. And watch him. He'll go through with his motion, and the ball just slips out.
Well,
he had a little help, too.
Yeah, he had a little help from his friend over there. Those things make it slip out in a hurry. But is that, would that be considered a fumble? I mean, is that what they're saying? That was a fumble? Well, of course it was. They recovered the ball back down there.
They mark it at the 42-yard line. Third down, 17. Don Shula, coach of the Dolphins, looking on. Out of the 4-3, here comes the Raiders. Kume got knocked off, but they were all there. Dave Browning was in on the tackle for Oakland, and the loss is all the way back to the 32-yard line. A loss of 10.
I think you see that happen quite a bit when a quarterback has just been hit pretty good 2 times in a row, as Bob had. It's not any knock on him, but that time he didn't really waste much time in going down. He saw his receivers were covered. He was getting some pressure, so he just tucked that ball under his arm and sat down back there.
There's Iram Matthews, a rookie out of Wisconsin who led the nation last year in punt returns. George Roberts punting. Now he's punting with a very bad muscle pull. He gets it off the side of his foot, not long, but he's not hurt by it too much. The ball out of bounds at the 35-yard line. A 32-yard punt by Roberts. He's kicking with a bad muscle pull in his right leg. We'll be back in a moment. The Goodyear blimp Columbia took a couple of days to come up from Los Angeles under the stewardship of Captain Corky Ballinger. Our cameraman up there, Art Peffer, and they have a beautiful night. The temperature 64 degrees. Just absolutely perfect here in Oakland, California for the meeting of these two rivals, the Oakland Raiders, with a 1st and 10 at their own 35 against the Miami Dolphins. No score, 9:24 remaining in the first quarter. Mark Van Egan gets the call on the left side, and Van Egan out close to the 40-yard line. Interesting thing, guys, about Mark Van Eegen. He's been a consecutive 1,000-yard rusher for the past 3 seasons. His longest run from scrimmage has been 34 yards.
You told me that, and I couldn't believe that. That's just unbelievable. 1,000 yards, 3 years in a row, and his longest run was 34 yards at the line of scrimmage.
That translates into a lot of knockdowns.
That certainly does. Pick him up and put him back down. There's the head coach. Oh, Tom, you're right. He was a pretty good thrower out here.
Van Eegen got 5. It'll be 2nd and 5. The ball at the 40-yard line. Play action by Stabler, trying to hold linebacker. Stabler fires to Casper, or rather to Raymond Chester, incomplete.
But catchable, wouldn't you say?
Very tough catchable.
Very tough catchable.
One of the Raiderettes checking Stabler out. He's 1 of 4 for 11 yards. 3rd and 5. Stabler hangs it up for Chester again, and he almost got it. The deflection there by Foley. I don't know whether he got a hand on it, but Raymond Chester almost came up with it. That'll bring up 4th down, and we'll see Ray Guy once again.
And Stabler going back again in the pocket. He's got double tight end there. He's throwing to Chester, coming to the middle. Really kind of a dangerous pass.
That's his what? That's his 4th attempt at Chester. I think they hit the first one, didn't they? And then as he's had the second one, 4th. They must have seen something back in that second there. They think they can work on.
The one thing I think they're sure of, Don, they're not going to beat Miami with the run. They're going to have to beat them throwing the football, and that's why it's so important that they protect their passer, which so far they have, but they haven't completed the many passes yet.
Sylvester, the center for the Oakland Raiders, did not like the condition of the football. It perhaps had a little stick 'em on it that some of the players use on their hands to make more psychology than anything else. But the ball has changed and ready now for Ray Guy. And I like to watch him punt when he can kick away, which he can do. Tony Nathan, respecting Ray Guy, is way back at his own 15-yard line. He pounds it. A flag is down as Tony Nathan tries to find a picket line on the right side. He does not. Gets back to the 22, 23-yard line on Ray Guy's 43-yard punt. But again, a flag is down, which could indicate that an illegal man was downfield.
No, I think it's going to be against the Dolphins, Frank.
Holding against Miami.
Defensive holding.
And we'll bring it back.
Is that an automatic first down?
Automatic first.
There you go.
Oh,
Get this thing geared up again.
and we'll try and pick up the call to find out which of the Dolphins cost Miami a possession.
Holding number 41, defense before the kick, first down.
Cornerback Norris Thomas was holding before the kick. Automatic first. The ball just short of the 45-yard line for the Oakland Raiders. Still no score. 8:28 remaining in the first quarter.
You know, so many times after a penalty like this, when everything's been kind of slow, things pick up in a hurry.
I think that's wistful thinking. Let's hope it happens. Let's get it.
Too tight in offense. And Raymond Chester.
It picks up.
Moved. The flag falls, and Stabler falls back at the 33-yard line. Larry Gordon in there. A lot of blitzing. You see Hendricks there, 83. Gordon was there, number 50.
Shula paid Gordon one of the highest compliments I've ever heard. He had intercepted 3 passes in the game last year. He says never had he ever seen a linebacker have a better game. And he is a good one. They've got those guys that are both big and they're fast. I think it's no secret that you want to try to put some pressure on
Illegal motion, number 88, offense, decline, second down.
And, of course, Stabler did not get that ball off, so they declined the penalty. The ball is moved back to the 33-yard line. We'd like to apologize for some technical problems we're having here in Oakland. You're not really getting the coverage that we offer you on Monday nights. We're having our troubles, so bear with us. We'll try and get it all pulled together. Our slow-mo is in operational at the moment, and you're not seeing the close-up pictures you usually see that accompany our telecast. Second down, 22, Stabler. Van Eegen. And they'll mark it at the 39-yard line. He gets some of it back, but it'll be third down at about 16.
It really wasn't a typical Stabler-type pass there. He had Van Eegen wide open, and he made him go down to the ground and get the ball. If he'd have got it to him in a little better shape, he had a chance to run with it.
So Miami adjusts defensively. Like all the teams now in pro football, every situation in the game calls for a special unit. 3rd and 16. Rich Martini comes in. Over the middle, and it's complete to Jensen, and he gets back to the original line of scrimmage. That's it. It'll be 4th down. Hit there hard by Larry Gordon. Tim Foley up quickly to help for Miami.
Says I'll check it all later.
There's Tony Nathan. He is back at his 10-yard line. This rookie from Alabama. About a 10.6 average for Miami thus far this year. And here's Ray Guy.
They're coming after him.
Norris Thomas just missed it for Miami. Nathan calls for it, makes the fair catch at the 25-yard line. 30-yard punt there by Ray Guy. And Miami will have the football with 6:50 remaining in the first quarter. No score from Oakland when we return. For Pittsburgh tomorrow night are looking in tonight. Miami with a 1st and 10. Ball at the 25-yard line. Del Williams gets the handoff. He runs into a crowd on the right side. Squeezes out perhaps a yard. Give him a yard and a half. It'll be 2nd down and 8.
Maybe they're waiting on something to happen. That might be it.
Well, they can join the 3 of us.
Yeah.
2nd and 8. Ariel Harris, 82, is in there, along with Nat Moore, 89. Wide receivers for Bob Greasy. Draw play, Zonka. And he's corralled there by Monty Johnson, short of the line of scrimmage. There'll be a yard loss. It'll be 3rd down and 9. I'll tell you, Monty Johnson is 6'5", a 240-pounder. He hit Zonka. That would have flattened a smaller man. Larry doesn't move fast, never did really.
Frank,
he is certainly strong.
Frank, there's an interesting thing about both of these defenses. They're basically 3-man line defenses, but again, on passing situations, they're going with 4 down linemen to get a better pass rush. There's Dave Casper.
4th lineman you're talking about for Oakland anyway is Pat Toomey. They call him the designated pass rusher. He was cut by Oakland earlier, came back, they renegotiated the contract. He's back here, and he's basically comes in on that situation you're talking about, Brent.
And Bob Greasy did not like what was setting up for him in the Miami Dolphin huddle. He calls timeout, moves over for a chat with Don Shula. And we'll be in Dallas Saturday night, of course, for a special Sunday night telecast the next night between the Dallas Cowboys and the Los Angeles Rams. And if you've ever been to a Oklahoma-Texas game at Dallas, you know enough to stay off the streets on Saturday night. 3rd and 9. Bob Greasy did not like something that was set up for the Dolphins. He called timeout. Ball just at the 25-yard line. Norm Bulash is in there, as is Gary Davis, and Gary Davis gets the call.
Got to do something really weird going on around here.
Sweep on a 3rd and 9. A loss of a couple. Bill Villapiano was there defensively, along with Monty Johnson. 4th down, Miami.
That's why he called the timeout. He wanted to go over the sideline and get that play on 3rd and 10 to call a sweep.
That's right. You forget that every now and then on 3rd and 10.
That's right. That's good.
All right. George Roberts comes out. That went off the side of his foot a while ago. He's a left-footed kicker, but he has a full hamstring on the right side. Ira Matthews, a rookie 6th-round draft pick from Wisconsin, is standing at his 40-yard line. This time, Roberts bombs one. Matthews driven back to his 32-yard line, bobbles the ball and quickly falls on it. And Miami was hustling down there. It was Don Bessalou.
Engelhoff never got hurt.
He was always there.
He played every game for 17 years and played it well.
I think it might affect these guys a little bit. So that's a new position. Shell's coming back in. He's been hurt.
On the 1st and 10, Jensen gets the call of the left side. Jensen out of the 35, close to the 36. It'll be 2nd down and 6. Derek Jensen, actually a first-year man, came up a year ago, but was on the injured reserve. Had a great career at Texas, at Arlington, over 3,000 yards there in rushing.
Frank, there's no question Al Davis is concerned about his running backs. There have been a lot of rumors out here the past couple of days that he's out looking for a running back, and he's using Dave Casper as the bait. And they've got running back problems, but I think that's pretty heavy bait to put out.
Tony Rubisky is out of there. Art Whittington started for them last year, is on the injured reserve. 2nd down. There we go. With Van Egan, he has the 1st down, lunges forward close to the 45-yard line, and he picks up the 1st down for Oakland. Rusty Chambers there defensively, 51, along with Steve Toll, 56 for Miami. 3:45 remaining in the first quarter.
Talk about Al and his attitude towards running backs. He picked up Todd Christensen, who was an ex-Dallas Cowboy player, and actually I think was with the Giants for a while, wasn't he? He came back in. He likened him to Van Eegen. He says, I like Christensen because he's a good receiver, might be able to play tight end, but I think he's one of those backs that's going to be around for a while.
And he had a good game against Oakland in the Hall of Fame game, so they have him as a backup. On 1st and 10, Stabler going out to Chester.
Right.
Raymond Thomas is there defensively, but Raymond Chester, who goes 6'4", 235, carries Norris Thomas close to a first down. He might be about a foot short.
All right, little play action fake. You see there. Little fake Van Eegen is up there trying to block, pick up somebody. This is really kind of an unusual offensive set. I'm not really sure what all they're trying to do there. I never did run it myself, so I guess when they've got receivers like Chester and Casper, they're unusual types of tight ends because they have speed.
You know, usually you run the 2 tight ends have them in there for running purposes, but really they got them in there to throw to them.
No team has 2 tight ends like these two. Chester and Casper. This is Van Eegen. Van Eegen crawls over the right side. Hit there by Baumauer. Van Eegen to the 41-yard line.
There's Larry Little, 13-year veteran, been at that right guard spot. All-Pro 6 times. One of the truly great guards in the National Football League the last several years.
Came up late 60s with San Diego. Played a couple of years there. Been All-Pro ever since he moved on to Miami. 1st and 10. Branches out to the left. Oakland stays with Chester and Casper, their 2 tight ends. Gordon Stabler.
What a play.
Jensen, they're going to say no. They're going to say that he was in the arms of Larry Gordon. That's that new rule, and it's going to continue to cause a lot of problems. Anytime a defender has a quarterback in trouble, I guess, so to speak, well, they're going to mark it right there.
Fran, what do you think about the new rule? Do you think...
I like it.
Well, I really do, too. And I think just because it's here, that's why the crowd reacted to it. But this is where a lot of quarterbacks get hurt, just in these situations right there, where they're still struggling, trying to get away.
They call it whenever he has him in the grasp and control, and he really had him in pretty good shape there.
I've seen both of you guys in the grasp and control throw touchdown passes. Now, how do you explain that?
Well,
you wouldn't like it as a player.
I had torn cartilages and broken ribs and noses, too, so I'll swap a couple of those for a TD, maybe.
2nd down, about 17. He's got him. Chester. And Chester gets the first down. Crawls inside the 30. Defensively for Miami, it was Neil Colsey who was traded from Oakland to Miami during the offseason, and Colsey slipped, or he might have prevented the first down. Now, this turf here looks like it's in great shape, but it was just resodded at the end of baseball season, so you know it's a little bit loose, and we've seen several slips already tonight.
Plenty of protection here, Don.
He's wide open there. You did see Colsey slip and get up. This has also been watered a lot, Frank, so the footing I don't think is going to be very solid anywhere on that field.
Stabler now, 5 straight after opening 1 for 4. 1st and 10. Ball inside the 30. Van Eegen tries to look for daylight to the outside. Finds a little bit. Down he goes. Bob Baumauer was there along with Steve Toll. Give him a yard and a half. It'll be 2nd down and 8.
Look at that. Yeah, I think you're probably right. I think it's primarily, though, is that the end of the first quarter? What the heck is that? Son of a gun.
Well, as we've heard before, we'll get back to that. That is the end of the first quarter. There is no score. That's Frank Gifford along with Don Meredith, Fran Tarkenton. That's not Fran. Nope, he's up here with us. Watching the Oakland Raiders and the Miami Dolphins. The Dolphins have never won here at Oakland Alameda County Stadium. They've lost 6 straight. Kenny Stabler looking over a 2nd down and 8.
He moved out of there.
Ducks 1, pass pressure, and incomplete. Dave Casper could not hold on to the low ball at the 14-yard line. It'll be 3rd and 8.
All right, Kenny, get him revved up here.
Cliff Branch split to the right. Oakland stays in the 2 tight ends. 3rd down 8. Stabler in desperate trouble. Down he goes. Bob Baumauer in there defensively. Stabler is dropped way back, and it could threaten the field goal potential of the Oakland Raiders as they sack Kenny Stabler back at the 38-yard line. And out comes Ray Guy.
I'm sure they're playing the kind of offense they think they are best equipped to play, but what we saw right there, a good example of how that 2 tight end situation doesn't allow that much flexibility or variation down in the secondary for patterns you run. They were trying to run a cross pattern with the 2 tight ends, Casper and Chester, and get Branch deep, and it just took too long for the thing to develop, and Kenny couldn't get it out there.
That's a good point. And it can make the blitz very effective. Gray guy will punt from midfield. Looking for the corner. He pounds it. And the rule is into the end zone, touchback, and Miami will have possession at the 20-yard line.
All right, last time Greasy came up, he ran the ball 3 straight times. Dandy, I wonder if you'll try to put it up here.
Well, I don't know. He's still nursing that pulled hamstring. And he said the major difficulty is he can't drop real quick. So let's see what he does.
Single setback. Zonka gets the call. Right side. Good block by Little, and Zonka sprawls forward out over the 25 to the 26. Lester Hayes had to stop him, but you saw the agility there of Larry Little. Pulled around his tackle, Mike Curran, got the block. Zonka was able to pick up 7 yards.
I saw more agility from Little than I did Zonka. Let's see if we can check it again. Just to pull off, you see a really good block. Gosh, who was that?
That's Larry Little.
Well, no, I'm talking about the other. That's Little on the outside out there on Hendricks. And here comes Zonka just stumbling along in there.
And the inside block was Mike Curran.
All right, that's the one. Mike Curran had a good block.
Second long 3. The ball at the 26. Zonka gets the quick toss, and not a good play for Larry Zonka. Now, defensively, it was number 73, Dave Browning, who beat the block, but Zonka is not the kind of running back I think you like to go with the quick toss with.
Strange. They went down to their 4-down lineman that time, and Oakland really has been a predominant 3-down lineman. They are coming back into that set right now, you see. You know, I think this is one of the biggest changes I've seen, Fran. They've got specialty people for everything. It's now down into downs and distances. They send guys in that do that.
You change up all the time. You're absolutely right. Oakland here's got 5 defensive backs in the game.
And then 4-man down linemen. 3rd down 8.
Miami has 3 wide receivers in the game. Situation football.
Greasy in a crowd, fires, and is complete to Bruce Hardy, the tight end. He has a first down at the 37-yard line. And Bob Greasy very cool because he had a crowd around him.
That was a good catch by Hardy. That's also their 4th-team quarterback. When Benjamin was on the reserve, Hardy was the guy that took some snaps and actually played a little quarterback in there. I think that's a dream of most tight ends that I've run into. Franny was got pretty good protection that time, and Hardy stretched out. No, that ball was thrown in there. He made it look harder than it was. It was right in there, wasn't it?
I asked Bob about Bruce Hardy. He likes him. He thinks he's an excellent receiver. He was drafted 9th in 1978 out of Arizona State.
First and 10, the ball at the 37-yard line. Matt Moore split to the right. Screen to the wide receiver, and Matt Moore breaks the tackle, and he almost busted loose, but Dave Browning tripped him up. He still is supposed to have a first down at the 47-yard line. Ball at the 47-yard line. No score. 11:45 remaining in the first half. Bob Greasy wearing the glasses that he started wearing last year. Williams, and he is pounded at the 45-yard line. It'll be a loss of 3 yards. Raider defender in there. Number 53, Rod Martin. Rod Martin, who has really come along. Came up 3 years ago, a 12th round draft pick. The Raiders cut him. He went over to San Francisco, tried to get a job over there. They cut him. Raiders got in trouble. They brought him back, and now he is starting for them and playing fine football. Beautiful night here in Oakland as we look across the bay from the Goodyear Blimp Columbia. 64 degrees at kickoff. Second down, 13. Ed Hendricks comes in on the blitz and is all over Bob Greasy. He put a cloud on Greasy. The loss all the way back to the 37-yard line. And that's going to bring up 4th.
The big zonk that was supposed to be blocking on him back there. Hendricks is a really good pass rusher. He's got the height. Gave Zonk a little inside fake. Zonk didn't really slow him down much at all. Those big old long arms, and he just gathers him in. Blow a whistle, folks, and get this thing over.
Third sack for Greasy. He's lost 18 yards.
That's when they needed the grasp and control whistle.
I said 4th. It'll be 3rd down. 3rd down, a little over 20 yards to go.
And then doubling the outside guys. We've got to go to the inside guy more there. He's got him.
He's got him at midfield, short of the first down. It's Nat Moore. It'll be fourth down. The punting unit will come on for Miami.
They must have had third and, what, 30?
Third and a little over 20. George Roberts punting for Miami. Ira Matthews, a rookie from Wisconsin, standing at his 13-yard line. Roberts puts it up high. Fair catch called for by Matthews very wisely at the 14-yard line because the Miami defenders were all down there. We'll be back in a moment. And by the way, at halftime, Howard Cosell is in Baltimore for our telecast tomorrow night. Had a chance to visit today earlier with the two starting pitchers tomorrow. For Pittsburgh is Bruce Keeson. Mike Flanagan goes for Baltimore. You'll see that at halftime along with highlights from yesterday's play around the league. First and 10 in a rather strange football game for the Oakland Raiders. From their own 15, handoff is Derek Jensen, and Jensen's pile drives out over the 20-yard line, close to the 22, and pretty good pickup there, getting 7. It'll be second down and 3. Larry Gordon on the stop, and Fran and Don is a little different. You keep feeling that one of these teams is going to break something.
Well, you do. You kind of think that they'll get a couple of first downs, one team or the other, and you think a little momentum's going to go. There's Lester Hayes talking to Jack Tatum and finding out what it's all about. But no team has really been boss yet. Nobody's taken over and said, I'm going to run this thing for a while.
Oakland stays with the two tight ends. Stabler hands off to Mark Van Eegen. He's piled up at the line of scrimmage. Maybe eked out a yard. It'll be third and short.
You know, Frank, this is really not Al Davis football. He loves to throw the ball down the field with two outside guys who can fly like a Branch and a Blitnikoff who couldn't fly but was awfully good. And to play with two tight ends has got a grade on Al Davis.
I miss old Freddie. You know, he was that when you were talking about that receiver they go to. It seemed like that was the one I've seen Stabler complete 1,000 passes to in years gone by. Somehow he'd work himself open.
Booker Russell comes in, number 34, second-year man out of Southwest Texas. He's in there with Mark Van Eegen on short yardage. Ball goes to Van Eegen. Right. And bobbled the ball.
I think Oakland got it.
They come up with it. First down, Oakland. Inside 8 minutes remaining in the first half. Cliff Branch trots into the huddle. Says hello to Kenny.
Don, that's a pretty good bonus there now, because they're not a great running team, but he's able to get a first down running and then have to put the ball up, and you got to get a little running to be able to settle things down so you can throw it.
On first down.
There comes Gordon.
Stabler under pressure just unloads one in the general direction of Cliff Branch, who was racing along the sidelines with Miami defender Norris Thomas.
And Larry Gordon is almost as big as defense.
He certainly is.
Overhead look, downtown Oakland. Second down, 10. Stabler left the football, fell on it. The loss is back to the 24-yard line, a loss of 3. It'll be third down and 12.
I'll bet you it had something to do with Dalby not being in there and not knocking Sylvester. It's just you get used to taking a snap. That's what I was going to talk about. And if you get in rhythm, there's so many things we do by habit.
And they look out of rhythm. Another interesting point, Frank and Don. Miami coming to this game and only sacked their opposing quarterback 5 times. Tonight they've already had 3 sacks. They're under 2 quarters.
They're improving, aren't they?
They're improving. Their Oakland's getting paid.
And they've been close on several other occasions. Third down, 13. Van Eegen on the screen. Catch back to the inside, out to the 34, short of the first down. And Oakland will have to turn it over again. Tim Foley up there quickly to trip up Van Eegen.
And so it's almost like a design run. They get that ball out to him on the outside.
Ray Guy came into tonight with a just under a 45-yard average, second in the AFC in punting. He's usually second or first. Oh, he held it.
That's the biggest roar.
All the way back to his 7-yard line.
Got no room.
Oh, Nathan nailed at the 13 by a hustling Oakland Raiders specialty team, and that's perhaps the most exciting moment thus far in the ball game. 59-yard punt, Ray Guy, and we'll be back with 6:05 remaining in the first half and no score. Alameda County Stadium is sold out tonight, over 54,000, but that's nothing new. They have been sold out for many, many years for a very exciting football team. Miami has a first and 10, the ball at their own 12-yard line, following a 59-yard punt by Ray Guy. The quick toss, Del Williams. Good block by Zonk. He took 2 men out, and Williams moves out to the 17-yard line, a gain of about 6. They'll give him 5. It'll be second down and 5, and we're going to Pause 5 seconds and allow all our friends all along the line let you know who's bringing you this telecast.
KETV Channel 7, Omaha.
Williams got 5. It'll be second down and 5. Seesaw battle back and forth between these two antagonists. Over the years, they have battled fairly close to even. Oakland with the edge, but Miami has never won here in Oakland. No score. 5:25 remaining in the first half. And off Del Williams. That was a ball, but he was down. A gain of a couple. It'll be third down and 4. And here comes the defensive specialty unit for the Dolphins. You know, it's going to be tough. Third and 4, and the specialty unit for the Dolphins. That's Gary Davis and Norm Bulash. They consider them a little better receivers than Del Williams and Zonka.
Here again, he's going to throw to the 2 backs for the tight end.
Greasy. Oh, down he goes, and it was Reggie Kinlaw this time. He comes in on the 4-3 for Oakland. He was all over Greasy. 4th sack of the night for Bob. Down at the 10-yard line, and the Dolphins have lost 33 yards on these sacks. And Oakland should have good field position as the punting unit comes on for Miami.
Dan, you defer to your point you made a while ago, all the different defenses they're putting up in situations. They had 6 defensive backs in that time against Miami.
There was nobody open down there.
There was nobody open.
Nobody there.
You had a look at Ira Matthews, the rookie from Wisconsin. He's positioned himself near midfield. This is George Roberts standing in his end zone. Roberts,
he hit it.
and he really pounded this one. Matthews driven all the way back to his 37-yard line.
That's almost a bit.
Got a good block, and he's close to a picket line. Out over the 45 to the 47. And Oakland will have good field position. That was a 54-yard punt by George Roberts, following Ray Guy's 59-yard punt. There was a late flag on that last punt. Our officials picked it up. One of the Miami Dolphins, who does not wear a receiver number, came in on the punting team. He did not report. 5-yard illegal procedure penalty against Miami. Oakland takes the penalty, and Roberts will kick again.
They got the return on.
And he hit another fine punt. George Roberts, Ira Matthews at his 45-yard line, stumbles and falls at midfield. That was a 50-yard punt by George Roberts.
That's good punt.
There is a great look at a beautiful city. City of San Francisco, right over the bay. That's the Bay Bridge nearest to you.
Kind of reminds you of Mount Vernon, Texas, doesn't it, Dandy?
Oh, it makes me want to strike up in song.
Looks like about 3 Bakersfields.
Oh, yeah.
Not bad field position, guys.
Not at all. Near midfield, the Oakland Raiders. Steve Sylvester nudged it up a couple of inches as he adjusted the ball. That always helps. Handoff, Mark Van Egan, and Van Egan powers to the 45-yard line inside the 45 of the Dolphins. Give him 6. It'll be second and 4.
And all of our viewers have watched that for so many years. Oakland trying to run the ball off the left side of behind Gene Upshaw and Art Shell. And if they can establish that kind of running, they're going to be tough.
By the way, Gene Upshaw started his 176th consecutive game tonight. Number 63 on the left side for the Raiders. On second and 4. Stabler, wide open. Casper has the first down. Tacks on more down to the 32. And could be right, Fran. Al Davis, with all the injuries, his personnel, 14 players on the injured reserve, might be using both Casper and Raymond Chester to kind of showcase him, if you will.
All right, here goes Dave Casper right here catching it. Al Davis told me, a few months ago that he thought Dave Casper was the most dominant player at his position of anybody in football. Pretty good statement, huh?
That's, yeah, rather strong.
That's strong. And coming into tonight, the other tight end, Raymond Chester, for the Oakland Raiders, had 25 receptions. That tied him for first in the NFL. 2 effective tight ends. On first and 10, handoff, Van Egan. And Bocamper pulls him down from behind at the 30-yard line. After a gain of a couple, it'll be second and 8. I'll tell you, Kim Bocamper, 6'6", 245, is agile.
He really is. They put him down in the down position many times, but he plays off the block here by Chester, plays off really strong, comes in, and that takes strength to be able to grab the guy by the hand, pull him down.
6'6", and alive.
And a little Henry. May not get this off before the 2-minute warning. Looks like Stabler doesn't want to get it off. He's going to get a jump on it, move over, and have a chit-chat with head coach Tom Flores. Looks up at the clock, sees the 2-minute warning, and we'll be returning to Oakland on a beautiful night for football after this message. That, of course, in the Cotton Bowl. We'll be in Texas Stadium on the following night. That's Sunday night, a special telecast of ABC's NFL Monday Night Football, typically on Sunday, for Dallas and the Los Angeles Rams. Stabler now 8 of 14, 85 yards. Looking over a 2nd down and 8. The ball just inside the 30-yard line of the Miami Dolphins. No score. Both teams battling back and forth between the 30-yard lines. Go for Casper. Got Casper there, but a flag's down also. And
good defensive play.
Good defensive play by, this is going to be a superstar, Gerald Small. He is really something different. Flag down again at the line of scrimmage. Looks like a holding call against Oakland.
And the way Shell's talking to the referee, it must be his 2nd one. He was caught earlier in the game on a holding call. We mentioned he's just returned to the lineup tonight, so maybe he's just a little bit slow. Said, hold it down here a little bit, guys.
He's been out since the 2nd preseason game, Art Shell.
May not be Art either. I shouldn't have said that.
Holding number 78. Offense.
It's okay.
Still 2nd down.
It's okay that I said it.
You're right on it. You're right on it, Dandy.
Oh, I've got eyes like a hawk, Fran. I don't know whether you've ever known that or not, but I mean, just eyes like a hawk.
I've known that for a lot of years.
Yeah.
I've watched it.
Miami takes the penalty, moving Oakland back to the 40-yard line. 2nd down, 19. Stabler.
He's got Casper in the
A lot
middle.
of time. Casper with a
All
leaping
right.
to the 23.
Oh, he tried to lateral.
He tried to
No,
lateral.
he said
That's
he's down.
awesome. And they're saying no, he was down. Ernest Roan came up with it.
Yeah, I think it was just a fumble, Frank. I don't think he was trying to lateral. But boy, what a great catch. Let's see him get off this line. That's pretty tough. Right there.
Gordon with it.
He was trying to. Hey, he was trying to lateral.
He was down before the lateral attempt, as you'll see.
Well, they are crazy up here in Oakland. I tell you, they do all sorts of junk.
Larry Gordon was all over Casper. He moved away from him. Colsey applied the hit, a former Oakland Raider. Here's Casper, knowing where the 1st down marker is, tried to lateral, but he's down. 3rd down, less than a yard now for the Oakland Raiders. And they take a timeout. He's got the 2 big men in there. Booker Russell comes in along with Mark Van Eegen. Russell adjusts into a wing position. They move off Art Shell and pounding away for the 1st down. Mark Van Eegen gets down to about the 17-yard line. Interesting stat. The Miami Dolphins have not been shut out in the 1st half in their last 37 games, and they are in, that little statistic is in desperate jeopardy at the moment.
They really haven't been able to sustain any kind of drive, Frank. Oakland has just had they got this ball on the 50, so they've moved it 30-something yards.
I think I'll just keep pumping it to Casper. He's getting open. Stabler now getting the time on 1st and 10. Look. And he is wide open. Oh. No, he did not come down in bounds.
Oh, wow.
Camper was back there alone with Cliff Branch.
He did a number on Norris Thomas, I believe is who it is, Fran. Let's see if we can pick it up.
Yep.
I was really watching Casper earlier. Casper's trying to go a little turn-in route. But he looked over. That's Cliff Branch. You see that Thomas fell down back there. The ball was up a little high. Let's see. You got to get them both in, and he didn't quite do it. That was close.
They banged that knee to the ground just outside. The foot came down inside, but the knee had already touched. Oakland with 120 yards of offense. Miami with 32. 2nd down and 10.
And Casper out of the game.
The 2 wide receivers.
Look out, look out.
Stabler dumps it off. A flag is down at the line of scrimmage. I don't think it had to do with Stabler's attempt to get rid of the football.
Don Shula wants to find out what's going on.
Needs a little exercise. We're going to have another holding call against Oakland. Don Shula, who has guided teams to 4 different Super Bowls, took Baltimore there, 69. Carried the Dolphins to the Super Bowl 3 times.
You know, this has been the pattern of the night. When it looks like a team is going to take over and take control.
Holding number 66. Offense still 2nd down.
Steve Sylvester filling in for Dave Dalby at center. That's 4 holding calls against Oakland.
To make the point, when somebody's going to take control, they kind of fall down, Don.
Yeah, they can't quite get that thing going, can they?
Second down, 20. What do you do, Don? Get half of it?
Well, yeah, you kind of like to do that. For one thing for sure, you want to try to get a little bit closer. You want to come away here with something.
He's got Casper by himself.
Oh, he sure does.
Screen to Van Egan, and he looked away from the ball too quickly. It was right in his hands. Looked away from it, trying to pick up his blocks. Incomplete.
Really frustrating there, I'd say from the quarterback standpoint. Of course, Van Egan certainly didn't try to, but look at this over the other side. Had to be a miss assignment somewhere, would you say? There was nobody out there.
Well, what they had 2 wide receivers on the other side, Don, and he had Norris Thomas man-to-man, and even though Thomas is a cornerback, man-to-man with Dave Casper is not a match.
You know, Dave was split out a little bit. He wasn't really in his tight end position.
Right.
Of course, the call was a screen. You don't deviate from that. 2 wide receivers are in. Martini is in. Casper out. Third down.
He's got him.
Got him open, Martini, and he overthrows. And Stabler got pounded. In there on Stabler was Doug Betters. Stabler now 9 of 18, 101 yards, and we're going to see Jim Breach come on for Oakland to try and get the goose eggs off the scoreboard. The holder will be Dave Hum. Jim Breach, who replaced Earl Mann, a free agent out of the University of California. Came late last year. And he's 5 of 7 thus far on the year.
That last pass was a good example of a receiver and quarterback not having a great deal of time to work together. It was not a really very well run route.
44-yard attempt. 43 seconds remaining in the half. Has the distance, and it's wide to the right.
I think it was tipped. Did you think it was tipped, Don? I thought I saw somebody tip the ball.
Well, I really didn't, Ben. I don't know, but it could have.
But you had that good eyesight.
He tipped it, they would have kicked it out of the stadium because he had a lot of foot in it.
That's it. See, all right, where's that tipster?
Nobody tipped it.
They had a tall jumpster.
That looked like it was going in there, and he just barely missed it to the right. Hit it really good.
Miami has 39 seconds. The ball taken over at the line of scrimmage. 27-yard line. Don't forget, highlights coming up at halftime along with Howard's report and an interview with the starting pitchers for tomorrow's first game of the World Series, Pittsburgh and Baltimore. Here comes Del Williams. And Williams out of the 35 to the 36, short of a first down by about a yard. And Miami, I believe, calls timeout. Yes, they do. The preceding announcement was brought to you as a public service by Bob Kuchenberg, a whale of a guy as well as a football player. Brought to you as a public service by Bob and the National Football League. Second down, about a half a yard. Speaking of Bob Kuchenberg, he made the Pro Bowl last year as a tackle.
Well, he can just do it all. As you know, he played there, that guard position there for a while, back at the tackles. I read a statistic. All these offensive linemen for Miami have at least 7 years experience. Is that right, Frank?
They do. Second down. Less than a yard for first. Greasy too long. Has to pull it down, but he gets out of a trap.
Oh!
Drops the football.
He fumbled.
And he recovered it.
And
he got the first down.
Things are bouncing your way when that happens, I guarantee you.
Second still ticking away.
I think I'd let it run out, Bob.
That's an indication. Pretty good protection. Again, that secondary and linebackers are doing a good job covering. Bob didn't have anybody really wide open.
He doesn't want to run. He has that pulled hamstring that's still bothering him.
That ball finally just got right back into his little tummy there. Bobby, it was sure chancy there for a while, Bobby.
And he comes up with the first down. Not that that is too meaningful because there's 12 seconds remaining.
He said, let's go. Forget this thing. Go in the half. We're getting in the locker room. We'll talk about it.
No, they did not call timeout. They're going to have to hurry if they're going to get a play off. Well, Shula wanted to get it off. Maybe Bob didn't. And down he goes again. It's Reggie Kinlaw once again. And Greasy is sacked for the 5th time. No score from Oakland. 2 offensive-minded football teams have goose eggs on the scoreboard, and we'll be back with highlights and interview from Baltimore. Kenny Stabler. I guess you would say he's had the best of it thus far. He's 9 of 18, 101 yards. His deepest penetration was to Miami's 17-yard line. Then they got one of their holding calls, and they backed it off, and they had to settle for a missed field goal attempt from 44 yards out. Meanwhile, Miami's deepest penetration was to midfield, and Bob Greasy will tell you right now, does still feel that pulled hamstring. You saw him try to run on a scramble ineffectively. He did get the first down. He did not want to run. Let's take a look at the stats for the first half. And it is a kind of game that puzzles you somewhat when you consider the explosiveness of both of these teams. Oakland with 120 yards of offense, Miami with 35. And what do you think, Don?
I really don't understand it, Frank. Because if one team was maybe dominating the other, you could find some sort of trend in it. But to me, it's almost like they're not really hitting on all cylinders, either team. There's something a little bit off out there. I don't know what it is.
Francis?
Don, tell me this. When was the last time Miami was shut out in the first half?
Oh, I remember that was against Minnesota in 1976.
I knew you'd know it right on the tip of your tongue.
Yeah. It must be something goes with just sitting in this seat I'm in. You know, just total recall. Things just come
You
back
are in the throne seat.
I am sitting on the throne. Ha! No wonder
Not only that, you're very truculent.
That's right. I'm truculent. I have a veritable plethora of insignificant trivia is what I have.
We'd like, just at the moment, if we could, to extend our sympathies to the family and the friends of Bob Peck, one of the members of the Denver Bronco organization who passed away this past week. Great man, great friend of all of ours, and to all of his friends and his family, our deepest sympathies. He was a wonderful man.
A lot of nice men he was, really and truly.
You saw Ray Guy. He does the kicking off for Oakland. Goes along the ground, and Tony Nathan takes it at the 7.
Could be a hole. Uh-oh.
Healy,
Oakland got it.
I believe Oakland has it. There it is. Oakland has the first big break of the night. They'll have possession at the 27-yard line. It was number 26, that's Hawkins, who got in there and picked it up. And that's how you really move on in special teams. That's Clarence Hawkins. He's a rookie out of Florida A&M. He was there when the ball fell. So Clarence Hawkins sets up the Oakland Raiders inside the 29-yard line of the Miami Dolphins.
Danny, does he go for the big strike here?
You got to. I'd throw 3 times in a row.
I would too.
4 maybe.
2 tight ends are both in there. The tight end offense for the Raiders. They used effectively against Denver last week. They stay with it.
That's why we're up here.
Van Egan gets the call left side. He gets a couple of yards close to the 25-yard line. Give him 3. It'll be 2nd and 7. Larry Gordon, the bottom of that pile.
Mentioned earlier, Fred, and I do think they're trying to establish some sort of run. For years, they have gone off that left side, the Shell and Upshaw, but they really have had some injuries. They have them tonight. They're not the same team. They don't have that real good strong run. You're right.
Dave Dalby out of there at center. That's Steve Sylvester filling in. 2nd and 7. Stabler. Got Casper.
Oh yeah.
And it's Casper. Casper has the first down, 15-yard line. Larry Gordon out there trying to defend against Casper, and that's almost impossible.
All right, here's a very interesting play. The halfback is going to circle out of the backfield, takes the cornerback out. Casper has a little delay out to the outside. See the halfback running down the bottom of your screen. He cleared the pattern out. Casper has caught this now 2 times tonight, same pattern. Here's
exactly the same pattern. Brad, you're right. Gordon, number 50, he sees that back coming out of the backfield. He tries to chuck Casper, goes with the guy out in the swing, comes back too late.
Cliff France goes wide right. He gets single coverage, so they go with the handoff to Derek Hello. He's piled up there. Steve Toll initially form under at the line of scrimmage. It's impossible to tell you about all the injuries because, as I mentioned earlier, there are 14 players on injured reserve for the Oakland Raiders. They have Tom Flores and Al Davis had a duck for a pet. He'd probably drown in this season. On 2nd and 10.
Had a duck and would probably drown.
Whoa! Chester, touchdown Oakland, a great catch. Raymond Chester. He was being covered by Foley. Foley is 6 feet tall. Raymond Chester is 6'4". He went up and came down with it.
Kind of got the feeling that Foley thought he had that one knocked away. Probably tipped it, but not far enough.
So Oakland breaks it open. Foley just could not get high enough to take it away. Good protection here.
This is why you have, they're playing a double tight end. You got the other guy, other than Casper Chester, to go up and make a catch like that. That is absolutely incredible to have 2 of them like that.
Dave Hum is the holder. Jim Breach pounds it, and it's no good. He just flat missed it. It wasn't blocked. It wasn't touched. He was just wide, and now we have a little scuffle on the field. No flags down.
Pushed it the same way as field goal, Frank.
All right, we've seen a lot of things tonight. The Raiders lead the Miami Dolphins 6-0, and we'll be returning in just a moment. Raymond Chester has caught 4 tonight for 55 yards. He is getting attention paid to his leg at the moment. He has the Oakland Raiders on the scoreboard. 4 plays, 28 yards out. Stabler to Chester, 6-0. Miss conversion by Breach. Ray Guy pounds it to Tony Nathan in the end zone. Flag is down as Tony Nathan goes down at the 22-yard line. And the word is that Raymond Chester has twisted his knee. We don't know how severely. He is standing up. Now he is seated once again, being attended to by the medical staff of the Oakland Raiders. Penalty flag on the kickoff.
I think it's about time we're going to have to give that Oakland, not have to. Let's see what we got here.
Holding number 60, receiving team, first down.
Jeff Taves holding for the Miami Dolphins. Brother of Lauren Taves, the Pittsburgh Steelers. 1st and 10. Miami begins from the 10-yard line. They have not crossed midfield thus far. Toss goes to Del Williams. Zonk out in front with a block, and Williams, who just has not been able to get on track this year. Running well, feels fine, just has not been able to put it together. He moves out to the 14-yard line, a gain of 4. It'll be 2nd and 6, and Raymond Chester is getting attention to his right knee.
It's a good defensive play by Villapiano, who came out there, because I really think if Del Williams if there had not been a Villapiano, Williams would have really been in that secondary, could have done some damage in there, but Bill's been doing that for a long time up here.
2nd down, 6. The ball just short. 15-yard line, marked at the 14. Zonka gets the call and carries Dave Pear forward. Short of the 1st down. 3rd down, call it about 1.5 yards for the Dolphins. Just really have not been able to get it in gear tonight. They come out in their short yardage offense. Hand off Zonka. He just lunges forward out over the 20 to the 22-yard line. And Zonka gets the 1st down for Miami. Zonka adds to the Miami Dolphin football team. On 1st and 10. Oh! Hendricks. He's done it many times. Greasy threw it right in the arms of the Stork, Ted Hendricks. His 23rd career interception is an Oakland touchdown.
Well, he ran such a good route. I don't much blame him for hitting him, Fred. He was really wide open. He didn't break stride. Let's see if Dave Pear comes in and gives some trouble. You mentioned Pear, number 74. He really didn't. That ball was, I thought maybe he might have blocked his due. What can you say about that one?
He's been doing it for so many years. It all began back in Baltimore in '69. He did it in Green Bay. Came to Oakland 75. Oakland had to give up a couple of #1 draft picks for that man, and you can see why they were willing to do it. Jim Breach for the conversion. He got a little thrill a few moments ago when he missed one.
There he says, now I got it.
This time right in the heart, and another scuffle breaks out. Matt Temper's out there tonight. Oakland has the lead, 13-0. We'll be back in a moment. Ted Hendricks just ambled in with a Bob Greasy pass on an interception. Put the Oakland Raiders on top 13-0. We have 10:34 remaining here in the 3rd quarter. Ray Guy busts another one. It'll be taken by Tony Nathan, and the rookie from Alabama gets out over the 20 to the 24-yard line. And Miami will give it another go, and they, quite frankly, are lifeless tonight.
Frank getting back to the interception that Greasy threw for the touchdown to Hendricks. It's the 2nd week in a row he's done that. He, in the New York Jet game a week ago, he threw a square out to the sideline. It was intercepted, then run back for a touchdown.
That's where he re-injured that hamstring, is really trying to chase the guy down on that touchdown run.
You know, Bob really hasn't had a typical Greasy year so far up to now. He's had some injuries, but he's really off to a slow start for him.
We mentioned earlier, he went out of the Minnesota game with Miami trailing. Strock came in and won it. Strock went all the way to defeat the Bears, and Greasy came back last week to lose to the Jets 27-33. On 1st and 10. Greasy, Del Williams, and he battles close to a first down. He is about a half a yard short. Phil Villapiano was there to corral Del Williams. Monty Johnson also pitching in. It'll be second down, about a yard.
I'll tell you one thing, guys. That 13-point lead is going to make Miami get out of that give it to Zonka off left tackle up the middle every time.
It'll be here a month to catch up with that kind of action.
An abrupt change of game plans.
Although here they may give it to him.
Duriel Harris, 82. Nat Moore, 89. Wide receivers. Quick toss. Del Williams finds an opening, and he's upended. Hit there by Mike Davis, second-year man out of Colorado, playing strong safety for the Oakland Raiders, but Del Williams gets the first down.
We talked about earlier, he's not in tonight. He's having some injury problems.
Ball is at the 38-yard line. Miami's deepest penetration thus far tonight has been midfield. Del Williams gets a call over the 40 out to the close to the 42-yard line. A gain of about 4. It'll be second down 6. Del Williams, who had his best year after a couple of superior years with the 49ers last year when he went to Miami for a first and a 5th round draft pick. He had 1,258 yards.
And a classy guy, Frank. He really came out of not the best part of Houston to live in, and really quite a story. Goes to Kansas. Has a great career up there. Graduated in 4 years.
Second and 6. Flags all over the field. You saw the right side. I believe it could have been Mike Curran over there, but the Dolphins straightened up.
False start, number 71, offense.
Curran on the false start for Miami. This is really not a Miami Dolphin team that we've watched for so many years. Tom Flores, however, likes the situation.
Matuzak, you see right there. Matuzak has been injured the last couple of weeks. He suited up tonight, but they didn't really expect him to play unless it was absolutely necessary, I'm told.
There's a torn bicep right here.
That must be a big tear.
Yeah.
He's a lot of man. 6'8", 275-pounder. One of the many Oakland Raiders that just cannot get back into that lineup because of nagging injuries. The penalty creates a second down and 11 situation. The ball at the 37. Greasy in a crowd, hustles loose. Tries to get it to Del Williams. Phil Villapiano was with him, but Greasy had to hustle out of the pocket. Third down and 11.
Good rush. Oakland's gone to that 6 defensive back lineup again and 4 down linemen. Now only leaves one more.
Greasy looking for time to throw the ball. Gets it to Nat Moore. Nat Moore away from one Raider, but he's going to come up short of the first down as he pounded to the turf at the 46.
And he got a lot of pressure again from those front 4 guys.
Willie Jones, a rookie from Florida State, was in there.
Well, here's their money guy, Nat Moore, coming out, running a little option play here. Watch the run he makes after he gets the ball. This is what makes him so great.
I'll tell you, he is a great one, too. In just 6 years, he is the leading Dolphin receiver. He's had 34 touchdowns.
Hey, watch this, Frank. They're going to go for it.
This is now 13-0. I don't know. 7:40 remaining in the third quarter. They might just be trying to draw him off. We'll see. A gutsy call. A little more than a yard. A yard and a half.
Oh, they got an offside.
They did. They got them. They did, but they were going to go for it. It looked like Willie Jones, the rookie,
And they did not make it.
anyway, offsides. If he was not drawn off, Miami's strategy has paid off.
That is really amazing. Lost a yard. Somebody up there with him.
Better to be lucky than good, someone once said,
I
didn't
bet there had to be 3 Raider defenders who I know would be telling all the other Raiders, stay on sides. And there is a Raider down on the field. Or a Miami Dolphin is down.
You know, the Dolphins still are struggling offensively. They really haven't established anything. I know Greasy's probing around trying to find something he can count on, and he really hadn't done it yet, Don.
Now, I'm really impressed with this Oakland defensive show tonight. They're really putting on a good one.
They give you a lot of different looks. They got them all up at the line of scrimmage right now. First and 10. Greasy
Right on the
fires,
money.
and it's dropped by Bruce Hardy. A pass that could have been caught. It would have been difficult, but he does not hold on. Mike Davis was covering Bruce Hardy.
Looked like from up here, that's the only place he was open, though, friend. Let's see if we can take a look. Got some fairly good protection that time. They're beginning to close in on him a little bit. Low and away.
Good throw.
That was about it. Yeah, that ball should have been caught, I think.
Good throw. He protected the ball away from the defensive back, which a quarterback should do, and he gave his guy a chance to catch it, and it was very catchable.
Change in setbacks. Gary Davis, 27. Norm Bulash, 31. They like to come into the game.
Big boo.
On a passing situation. 2nd and 10.
There he is, right on the money. Oh, yeah.
Matt Moore gets the first down, 35-yard line.
Can't do much about that one, man. That one's thrown to the outside.
Surprised they haven't been there before because they're working against a rookie, Henry Williams. Let's look again.
Well, there's not much magic here, except he got good protection again and just made a nice throw and a good comeback catch over there to his #1 man, old Nat Moore.
That's where Monty Jackson ordinarily would be, the fine all-pro defensive back. But he has a sore knee, cannot play. As you see, a good move to the inside by Moore, break to the outside, and Henry Williams, the rookie from San Diego State, was 4 or 5 yards from the receiver. 1st and 10, the ball at the 35-yard line of Oakland. Miami beginning to threaten. Whoa, Donka finds a big opening. And he with the team motor. Another Miami first down as Donka gets in the 25, inside the 25, close to the 23.
Well, there's that aged right side doing a pretty good job there, Dandy.
Yeah, kicked him out. They call him that 3-man front, and a good blocks all the way around. That's a good close off of Monty Johnson in the middle linebacker there by our new tight end, Bruce Hardy, who dropped the ball.
You notice how timid those defensive backs are around Zonka down there. I don't see anybody just taking him straight up. Smart defensive backs.
Right in there between 235 and 240. Give him a gap, and he'll make a big hole out of it. On first down, Greasy going to Nat Moore, and I think we're going to have interference called.
We are. Should be on Henry Williams.
Henry Williams, and all of a sudden, Greasy has discovered Henry Williams out at the right corner for Oakland.
Now, Tumay's upset. They surely couldn't have called him for interference, could they?
Frank, in fairness to Henry Williams, he really played well out there tonight, and they're going to keep him.
Illegal use of hands, number 67.
It was.
Defense.
It wasn't.
First down.
It was
Called it
Tumay.
against Pat Tumay.
It wasn't against Henry Williams. Sorry, Henry Williams. But Henry Williams has played well out there. But if you got him out there by himself against Nat Moore, he's not going to cover him. Nobody else is either.
Well, what do you think Tumay did in there that would be illegal use of the hands on a defensive end?
Head slap, possibly, huh? You think? I don't know. That'd have been a personal foul, though.
In any event, 1st and 10 Miami inside the 20-yard line at the 19. Zonka gets the ball, big opening, and he lunges to the 10-yard line. Short of another Miami first down by about a yard. Hit there by Pat Tumay.
When you see that play go up the middle like that, you think of Jim Langer, the great center. Let's watch Langer's block here. He made his block on Dave Fair, blocked him out and got it. You know, Jim Langer's an interesting story. He has told the Dolphins that he will not play in Miami next year. He said he'll either play in Minnesota for the Minnesota Vikings next year, which is his home state, or he won't play at all. And he's only 31 years old, still as good a center as there is in football.
I would say so. 6 Pro Bowls for Langer. They would miss him if he left. 2nd down, a long yard. Zonka pulls forward.
Oh, boy.
He was corralled by Dave Fair. He's going to be short of the first down. Or maybe a foot or 2 feet.
Like they had a little hole right up the middle that time. Monty Johnson was playing a little deep. Those defensive tackles were wide. They went to the outside anyway, and it's 3rd down and about a yard.
And Ronnie Lee comes back into the game. You saw him limp off a few moments ago, the rookie tight end. He comes in there on the short yardage situation.
Well, if I were there, Don, I'd think run here, because if he doesn't make it on 3rd down, he's going to come back and go again on 4th down. And we'll see no field goals kicked here, so I would think a running play here.
Yeah, you're right.
The big man, Zonka, gets the call. Easy first down. It'll be 1st and goal at the 6-yard line for Miami, which started to pull things together after being down 13-0.
Right in front of Kuchenberg, so I wouldn't be surprised for him to come back over there again.
13th play of this drive, helped considerably by an offsides call at midfield.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, and he just lowered his head, tossed off an Oakland Raider. Jack Tatum finally drops him, but not until Zonka's inside the 1-yard line. 12 carries, 52 yards for Zonk.
Again, that whole left side of the line, Fran, look at this. They're blocking down. They got double team pair. Look at Kuchenberg on top.
There's Jack.
Toomey.
Tatum just took a ride.
Yes,
He
sir.
sure did. Who would you give it to here?
39.
I'd quarterback sneaking myself.
Drive started on their own 25-yard line. Turn back is Zonka. It'll be 3rd and short.
I didn't see anything wrong with that left tackle.
You know, that's an interesting thing, Don, you brought up. You know, they've had good success running off the left tackle in 2 short-yardage situations. They've been caving the whole side down, and you go up the middle. I've always thought if you got something going, you keep doing it until they stop it, take it away from you. I would certainly think they'd go off that left tackle this time.
We saw a quick look at Don Shula, who has a great personal affection for Larry Zonka.
In high formation, they're going to have a hard time doing it. High formation, if they can get that Delvin Williams.
3rd, less than a yard.
Offside, Miami.
It looked like it might have been a Dolphin. You saw the flags fly.
I think you're right, Frank. It might have been Kuchenberg over here on the left side. It was
Del Williams got the call.
Or Ronnie Lee, the young tight end.
Oh, that's really tough.
Dave Kerr of the Raiders, number 74, indicates it's going to go against Miami.
Ooh.
And I tell you, 2 flags went, but we're going to have the procedure call against Miami. That hurts.
Yeah, Frank, that's not the kind of composure. Yeah, you can make some mistakes a lot of places, but the places you don't make them are down on that goal line. And that's why coaches say, give me that experience. Usually pays off. That time the experience was there, and they still jumped off.
False start. Offense. Still 3rd down.
Left side could be Bob Kuchenberg, number 67. Let's take a look.
Nope, it's the left
It's,
end.
Ronnie
Lee, the rookie. And that's not going to make Mr. Shula happy at all.
Well, there it was, that inexperience again there on the inside.
All right, I still think they go 2 plays here, and it's 3rd down. You got to throw the ball.
3:11 in the 3rd quarter.
Got to
Oakland
throw.
over Miami, 13-0. 3rd down and goal. The ball just short of the 5-yard line of the Oakland Raiders. Greasy has the time.
Tight end. Nope.
Throws into his tight end, into Bruce Hardy. Bill Piano was back there, 41. Good defensive play. And out comes the defensive unit, and the field goal unit for the Miami Dolphins.
Francis, I've always felt this was the toughest part of the field to come for your passing game to work. You don't have that much room for the guys to maneuver down there. They don't have that much lawn to fake them out. They were pretty well covered. All 3 receivers he had out were pretty well covered.
Especially in that situation, you use a straight drop back to know you've got to throw down there. You've only got 15 yards to throw it in.
Don Strock is the holder. He's a quarterback. That has to be a consideration. Von Schaumann, a rookie from Oklahoma, for the field goal attempt from 23 yards, right through the middle. And Miami has erased their goose egg from the scoreboard. They now trail the Oakland Raiders 13-3. They missed a golden opportunity, however, for 6. The Miami Dolphins had a 3rd and inches for a touchdown. Illegal procedure call. Had to settle for a field goal. Uwe von Schaumann will kick off for Miami. Ira Matthews is deep, number 43, along with Larry Brunson. We'll watch it from the end zone. And Ira Matthews from the 5-yard line for Oakland.
Watch out! Watch out!
He can motor. All right. Von Schaumann made the save out of the 38-yard line, 48-yard line, as Ira Matthews, a little 6th-round draft pick out of Wisconsin. He's only 5'8", 175 pounds, but he can motor.
The most impressive thing about this is going to be the tackle that the kicker makes, Von Schaumann, on this little Ira Matthews. He led the nation last year at Wisconsin. He's got plenty of room to make a move. Von Schaumann makes a whale of a play.
You know, he's a very good athlete, Von Schaumann. He was drafted in the North American Soccer League as a goalie by Dallas.
Frank, up to this play, Oakland's had the ball 4 plays in the 3rd quarter, scored 13 points in the 3rd quarter. Not bad production.
1st and 10, Oakland from their own 48-yard line. Derek Jensen over the left side and gets into Miami territory at the 49. Pickup of 3. It'll be second down and 7. Look at the possession time. Most of it on the part of Miami occurred on that drive that began on their own 25-yard line. Over 7 minutes they used.
I think it's got to hurt them to come away with only 3 points.
There's Ira Matthews. Yes, sir. We see you. Wave to the world.
Led the nation in punt returns a year ago, but he also led the nation in kickoff returns as a sophomore. Second down, 7. Van Egan pounds over the left side, runs into Steve Toll, thrown back, but his forward progress short of a first down, but at the 44-yard line, it'll be third down and a long 1.
Ordinarily, you see A.J. Dewey in there.
Third, less than a yard. 3 setbacks in there. Booker Russell, Mark Van Egan, Derek Jensen. Van Egan gets the call.
Good defense.
He's close.
I don't think he got it.
I don't believe so. That would bring up an interesting call on the part of head coach Tom Flores.
Yes, it would, wouldn't it?
Oh, I hope he didn't make it so we can see what they're going to call. That'd be really fun.
He didn't make it.
Oh, okay. Then what are you going to call? Come on.
I'd punt it. I would punt it right
That's what
now.
he's going to do, too.
I would not give them a chance to get back in the ball game.
We saw that in Green Bay last week. Very similar situation, very similar part of the field. Green Bay with a good lead. They tried it on 4th down, didn't make it, but that fired up a bunch of youngsters. It didn't seem to matter. Nothing would have mattered that night.
There's the professor there studying his
Doctorate.
Yeah, getting his doctorate there. I don't think he's going to find any secret plays in that base there.
Nat Moore is deep for Miami. Ray Guy will, or should, angle this for the sidelines. Guy looking for the corner.
He's got it,
and
too.
he has got it.
Yep. Oh, he's got it.
He did. Oh, and Ray Guy knew he had it.
Oh, boy.
He's jumping up and down. He puts it out of bounds on the 3-yard line. And a 41-yard effort to boot. That
He's done
won't
it
even
twice
hurt his
tonight.
statistics. So Miami will begin in trouble. They're on trouble on the scoreboard, and they take over at their own 3. Ray Guy just pounded one out of bounds at the 3-yard line and picked up 41 yards on the effort.
What a really special weapon he is to have on your side. He can really do it.
Ray Guy, Thomasville, Georgia. How about that,
Number
Andy?
1 draft pick for the Oakland Raiders. They've never been sorry. They made him the first pick in '73. Donka gets the assignment to
And
get
he did
Miami
it.
out of trouble, and he pounds it all the way out for a Miami first down at the 15-yard line, close to it.
Now, Frank, that's a heck of a move there. That if you got a guy like that, they've double teamed. You see, how in the world did Pear not tackle him? Well, I don't know. They pulled. That's really strange. Pear got off on the wrong foot some way. Ed Newman was pulling out in front of him. He should have been following that guard down there. Big hole. Zonka picked up the first.
I know not many people care, but Ray Guy's not from Thomasville. Danny's from Thompson, Georgia.
Yeah, I was going to mention that,
Yeah,
Fran, but I didn't
I knew
want
you'd
to.
do that.
You know.
Del Williams, look at that. He's got an open field. Watch out. Oh, and he can move, but he's pulled down by Willie Jones, a big defensive end who can really fly. Made the save as Del Williams got away from one Oakland Raider. It was Monty Johnson who had penetrated behind the play. Watch Del get away from Johnson right here.
Number 1, you think about 2 plays when these guys started on the 3-yard line. Right there, that was awful. Monty Johnson came in, let him go. Look at all the guys out in front of him.
Gets a block by Newman.
There's old
Gets
Ronnie
another
Lee.
by Ronnie Lee. And that is the end of the third quarter with Oakland leading Miami 13-3. We'll be back with the fourth quarter in a moment. Our cameraman, Art Pepper, in the Goodyear Blimp Columbia, hovering overhead, showing you the Oakland Alameda County Coliseum, where right now we begin the fourth quarter with Oakland out in front of Miami, 13-3, but Miami has all of a sudden come to life. They've had a spark. They have the ball, 1st and 10, their own 45-yard line. Donka gets the call, wide left, pulls forward.
Oh, my goodness!
There Larry Zonka just pounding over Oakland Raiders. I say he's the only one in football that can do that.
Was that Rod Martin that he hit first out there?
Indeed it was. Number 53. He just ran right over the top of it.
All right, here comes Zonka. You know, at the top of the show, Larry Zonka said he likes to run behind this line. He knows the superior line to the New York Giant line. But look here. He didn't have any blocking here. He runs over everybody. That's Jack Tatum. There's no better tackler than Jack Tatum.
He took Martin first, then he took Jack Tatum. He gets another first down. The ball at the 42-yard line of the Oakland Raiders.
Good run, Zonk.
Hey, Oakland has got to start thinking run. It should help Greasy in his passing game. Del Williams. That's behind the block by Zonka. Gets about 6 yards to the 35-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 4. Tackled there by Mike Davis.
You know, Frank, I want to make a point about Larry Zonka. You know, the Giants signed him as a free agent. And they didn't have to give any kind of compensation to the Dolphins. But Wellington Mara, the Giants, gave the Dolphins 2 third-round draft choices in exchange for Zonka. Pretty good tribute to Mr. Mara to do that, because nobody else compensated anybody nearly like that.
I can think of a lot of other owners that maybe not have been so considerate. 2nd down and 4. Williams gets the call, and he gets the first down at the 30-yard line. 1st and 10.
I really do like the way that guy runs. Williams has got some nice moves.
Well, they got it going, and they're doing it with the running game. How do you go that far with the running game? I don't know. That's really something.
1st and 10. Miami just short of Oakland's 30-yard line. Del Williams gets the call. He finds a little gap over the left side. He exploits it down close to the 25-yard line for a gain of 5. It'll be 2nd and 5.
You know, our viewers out there might wonder why they stay with the running game when they're 10 points down. The important thing is 13 minutes and 20 seconds left in this game. They've got plenty of time to win it. As long as they're running like that, you stay with it.
Miami 4-1, the leaders in the AFC's Eastern Division. Oakland, they're 2-3 on their season. Denver, Kansas City, and San Diego are tied for the lead in the AFC's West. They're all 4-2. 2nd and 5. Zonka. He has another Miami first down at the 20.
It's almost like a wing tee set they had out there that time. Move back to the weak side.
By the way, Zonka's record at Syracuse went down the drain this past weekend. Joe Morris broke Zonka's record. He picked up 252 yards against Kansas. Single game rushing record. Young Joe Morris of Syracuse. The call goes to Zonka again. Right side this time piled up, and not before he sprawls forward for a couple. It'll be 2nd down and 8. The ball at the 18.
Maybe he's going to throw here, Don. He's been running all the way down the field, but 2nd and 8, you would think he would, wouldn't you?
He has Duriel Harris out to the left against rookie Henry Williams, right cornerback for Oakland. He wants Harris.
And nobody there.
Ball deflected.
Good defensive coverage.
But he went to the wrong place, because Henry Williams was there covering Harris, but he also had some help.
Jack Tatum, 32, had slid over there to help Henry Williams.
They doubled up over there.
3rd down 8.
Well, that's kind of an interesting pass pattern. He had 2 receivers, both out in the flats that time. Nobody was down the middle.
And now he'll have to put it up in the air. Gary Davis comes in. He's a pretty good receiver. He comes in. Out goes Larry Zonka.
And the Dolphins haven't mastered this defense. This is that 6 defensive back situation. 4 down linemen. They leave 1 linebacker in. And that 1 linebacker is Monty Johnson.
3rd and 8. Big play for Miami.
Watch that more.
Fired over the middle. All right. And he's going to be short of the first down. And this is going to be an interesting call also. It'll be 4th down. About 1.5 yards for a first.
They've got that thing. Do they have to go to the 10?
They're
have to
going to
reach
kick
the 10.
it. I think they ought to kick
the kicking team.
I think they ought to. They're not going to.
Well, field goal sets up a potential tie with a touchdown and conversion ahead.
I'll tell you, they're putting the game on the line right here, Dandy. It's a long 2 yards there. 4th and 1.5, 4th and 2. That's a long way. If they don't make it here, they're really putting the game on the line.
4th down, almost 2 yards. Del Williams and Larry Zonka. Greasy says no. I want to think it over. Timeout. And he'll move over to have a further conversation with Don Shula. We'll be back in Oakland right after this message. Interesting situation here in Oakland. The Raiders have a 13-3 lead over the Miami Dolphins. The Dolphins have been moving the football. They had it for over 10 minutes in the third quarter. They have had it all of the fourth quarter thus far, almost 5 minutes. Oakland's defense has been out there for a long time. Right now, Miami has a 4th down and almost 2 yards at Oakland's 12-yard line. They are not going to go with the field goal.
They've got down
another attempt to draw Oakland offside.
They've got down here with the run. Be interested to see what they're going to do.
Long count, hoping to draw Oakland off. They're going to go with the pass.
Oh!
Forget it.
Reggie Kinlaw.
Reggie Kinlaw once again.
Oh, my God.
Where did he come from?
Nobody touched him.
Well, I don't really, well, that's really putting it on the line, I guess is right, Ram. It's really easy right now to say, try to get that 3 points. Let's see where he came from.
Down the left side, he just looped around to the right, beat Larry Little. And there he is.
Jim Langer, the center, has pulled out.
I think that's right. Langer made a mistake. He didn't pull out there.
Well, I think Langer had to go out and get the linebacker blitzing on the 6th down lineman.
Maybe so.
In any event,
somebody messed up.
There will be no first, and Oakland turns the Dolphins back. They have a 1st and 10 at the 21-yard line. 6th sack of the night on Bob Greasy. Stabler hands off to Van Egan, and the offense has to have been cooled down just a bit, as does the Miami defense. These 2 units have not been on the field in a long while.
You know, the point of that play, I don't think Mr. Shula's record has to be defended. Certainly, he's one of the great coaches ever to be in this game. There's Reggie Kinlaw, the guy that made the play. But we all 3 said during the timeout that we thought it was a mistake to go for it at that time, because you need to kick a field goal somewhere in there, and I really do think it turned out to be a mistake, but I think it was a mistake even if they'd have made it.
Oakland trying to get back on track. Van Egan picked up 6, 2nd down 4, the ball at the 27. Van Egan gets the call again, piled up right at the line of scrimmage. I remind you again that Sunday night, a special telecast from Dallas on ABC's NFL Monday Night Football, and it's going to be a beauty. It's going to be the Rams and the Dallas Cowboys.
And they're both kind of hitting stride, it seems like, right now. The Rams had a good game against the Saints, and the Cowboys had a pretty good game against your old boys up in Minnesota.
I saw him. He looked very good yesterday.
How about that Dorsett, friend? Can he motor?
Yeah. Is he something special or not? And the Rams really kind of came alive last week. When those 2 get together, they really play it hard.
On 3rd down and 3. Stabler. Whoa. And Stabler could not find the receiver. He dumped it off to Van Egan in an attempt to Van Egan. Vern Den Herder was in there in the face of Stabler. That'll bring up 4th down. That, of course, the Rams-Dallas game is Sunday, and then we'll be traveling overnight. We'll be in New York on Monday night. It'll be the Jets and your old alma mater friend, the Minnesota Vikings.
The old Purple People Eaters. First time that Monday Night Football has been in New York. Be kind of exciting.
Ray Guy to punt, and Tony Nathan stands close to his 25-yard line, respecting the very talented foot of the game's premier punter, Ray Guy.
And I think they're trying to block this thing, Giff.
He's only had 2 blocked going into this year.
There they go.
Oh, they're going for it.
Whoa!
Guy saw that, hustled it, didn't get off a spectacular kick, but a fair catch had to be called for by Tony Nathan. He does so at the 34, and Miami's offense will come back out on the field. We'll be back in a moment. A very meaningful game, as you can see, for the Miami Dolphins. The loss tonight, they drop into a tie with New England in their Eastern Division race of the AFC, and also very meaningful for Oakland. Denver knocking off San Diego makes it pretty wide open. 3-way tie at the top, and how about Kansas City? 3 in a row, they are motoring along. 1st and 10, the Dolphins. The Oakland defense has only been off the field 1 minute and 24 seconds. They pull themselves together. Ball at the 34-yard line, 9:20 remaining in the game. Greasy fires over the middle. Is Bruce Hardy short of a 1st down, but he has the ball out at the 42-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 2. Another Dell Williams coming out of the backfield, the receiver.
Filipiano and Johnson were pretty close at hand. That ball was thrown right on the money, and Dell made a good catch.
Danny, as well as Miami has, there you see the rushing of the night. Williams 82 yards, Zonka 83. Oakland 69 yards total.
Zonka moved by his entire production last year with the Giants.
He needed 45 yards to do it. He's done it with these.
Williams struggles for a first down, comes up short at the 44-yard line.
Don, the point I was about to make is, as well as Miami has run the ball this second half, I think in order to win the game, you got to throw it. Your big plays are going to come from the pass, and they've got to start making some big pass plays, which they really haven't done tonight.
I think you're right, more so now than that earlier drive when they were having so much success on the ground. They did it. For their sake, I'm sorry to see them get that close and come away with no points, because then there'd only been one touchdown away. You made the point. Somebody's got to kick a field goal sometime. Larry
Little comes back in at offensive guard for Miami. Mark Denard goes out. Third down, less than a yard for a first down.
Going with the Williams off the eye.
Williams saw a little daylight to the right side, squirted through for the first down. He's at the 46-yard line.
Hard to notice that move, Frank, but I really think that kind of thing is what separates the really great backs from a lot of good backs in there.
You got it.
Have a play called and it goes to a certain hole and you work all the time. Well, we got to get this thing timed, but that's just an individual adjustment in there, and it's particularly helpful when he's looking for that first down.
Frank, you look at the Oakland coverage, they're really doubling those two outside receivers. And it's really going to force Greasy to throw to the backs or to throw to the tight end. And with Zonkane, doesn't have the greatest receiver in the world.
On first and 10. He has Hardy, but he goes to Duriel Harris. He's open. Oh, he does not hold on. Good defensive play. Hustling back there was Lester Harris. Had Greasy hung it up another couple of yards, it was all over.
He really does have Lester Hayes beat here, but Lester Hayes has really got some kind of quickness. Protection is good. You see they had a kind of a semi-blitz on there. But the ball's a little bit underthrown. He has to wait for the ball. It allows Hayes time to come back and make a play on the ball. Duriel Harris did have him beat.
He did. Just one more little bean behind that ball would have been on time.
You know, if he does have leg problems to go down, if he's got a hamstring pull, you've got to throw with your legs. You got to push off there, and he might not be able to push off well enough to get the ball down the field as much as you'd like to.
I'll tell you, that had to give Tom Flores, the Oakland head coach, a little rush. He had two receivers open. Second down now and 10.
Got the tight end, the two backs again. Got to go to him. There's the back.
Coming out of the backfield, and is complete to Gary Davis.
Good catch right there.
He's at the 47. A gain of 7. It'll be third down and 3.
You know, most of the prevent coverages, there they are, the 6 defensive backs again, Don. They try to take away the two outside receivers and force you to throw it inside to those backs.
I guess what do they do with the tight end? They'll double him with a line. Do they have the linebackers in there? What do they try to do there?
Well, of course, the 6 defensive backs, they can play a defensive back on him, but they're really doubling, putting 4 men on the outside. The tight end is by himself with one guy, but it's a defensive back.
Miami looking for their 14th first down of this half. Oakland has managed 1. Oakland on top, 13-3. Hardy over the middle.
Good catch.
And he made a sensational catch. Bruce Hardy. Jack Tatum was up there, almost took it out of his hands, but Hardy held on. He has a Miami first down at the 32-yard line, and Tatum is limping.
I'd love to ask Jack Tatum right now if what he did was kind of lay back and play for that interception. It seemed that he just mistimed his move.
That's a good call, Don. You're right. I think he did, too. If he had a chance to make an interception, it's usually Greasy back in the pocket. Watch Tatum come in there.
Yeah.
You're right.
I think he just misjudged it just a touch.
Pretty good concentration by Bruce Hardy, Frank.
Miami on the move again. On first down. He's going deep. Harris is in the end zone and is batted away.
That's Tatum back there,
along with Henry Williams. Double coverage on Duriel Harris. Let's watch the double coverage.
All right, you'll watch Williams play to the outside. Should be to the outside of Harris. He's got inside help on him to the post, but Tatum is slow getting to the post. This ball is almost completed for a touchdown. Watch Tatum come back into the play, but he almost came back too late.
Again, slightly underthrown, or it could have been 6.
That's right. That's 2 in a row.
Yep.
Second and 10.
Good call, Gibb. You're right. A good throw then could have been 6. Tatum's coming off the field, Frank. He is hurt.
He limped after he tried to break up the pass to Bruce Hardy that set up the first down at the 33. Now on second and 10. Greasy has the time and no receiver.
Oh my goodness.
Picked off Lester Hayes. I believe it's Lester Hayes. Yes, it is. Greasy just hung it up for anyone to grab, and it was Lester Hayes. And Oakland comes up with the football once again.
Here comes Bob again. And we've seen Bob Greasy have many great nights. This is not one of them. Comes out of the pocket, does a scramble, lays it up. Lester Hayes just sitting there. Makes the interception. Wasn't a great interception, just a routine play.
Oakland has the ball. Their own 22-yard line. We have 5:33 remaining in the game. Oakland with a 13-3 lead that's been threatened by a rejuvenated Miami offense that has made a couple of mistakes deep in Oakland territory.
They run, no, I was going to say run left. They ran right.
Eric Jensen off to the right side. Perhaps he should have run left. Stacked up at the line of scrimmage. Maybe even lost a foot or so. No, give him a yard. It'll be 2nd and 9.
As much offense as we've seen from Miami this half, we're now looking at 2 fresh teams out there.
That's right.
That'll go, Lester. You were at the right place at the right time, fella. You're right. I agree with that.
Hayes became a starter last year. He was a 2nd and 5th round draft pick in '77. Versatile athlete out there. 2nd down. Jensen gets the call again. Turns to the inside, runs into a crowd. Down he goes out around the 28-yard line. A gain of 3. It'll be 3rd down and 4. They say Jack Tatum has suffered what possibly would be a hip pointer, and if you've ever had one, you know how painful they can be.
I've had one. Oh, and you're right, they are painful.
You don't cough, you don't sneeze.
It's a hitch and you get along.
All right, here's a situation, Don. 4:25 and counting left to go in the game. 3rd and 5. Do you throw it or you still try to run it out?
Well, I think let me see here just a minute. I'd throw it to Casper.
Casper has the 1st down. Pulls ahead.
That's what I'd do.
Out to the 46-yard line. Carries Gerald Small with him.
You know, watch David come back here. I think if I had a Casper, I'd throw to him every down. He always seems to get open. If he's not, he fights for the ball so hard, he usually gets it. Look, how can he leave him that open?
Well, he had plenty of time. You saw Art Shell doing a heck of a job. He was working on
Here's Casper working off the linebacker. Shakes him, throws him off. Darryl Small hops on for the ride.
All over the 45-yard line.
Getting serious, guys.
Casper has caught 4 for 57. He caught 4 against Denver last week. Staber is 12 for 22. Handoff. Mark Van Egan out on the right side. Gets a couple of yards. Will be 2nd and 8. Upended there by Steve Toll.
They really don't need but about 1 more 1st down, and particularly if they do it on the ground, that clock is still running.
Yep. 3:15, and as Don said, the clock continues to move.
And of course, in this situation defensively, you're going to see most of the defensive people right up the other line of scrimmage. You're going to see a lot of blitzing, trying to strip the ball out. It's their only chance to strip the ball out and get a fumble in here.
2nd down and 8. Ball at the 48-yard line. Van Egan now only needs 6 yards to become Oakland's number 2 all-time rusher. But the handoff is Jensen. Jensen has a big opening. Stopped short of the 1st down at the 45-yard line.
Yeah, that's going to be awfully tough right there. That's going to be awfully tough.
Seconds ticking away.
Let's see how that thing opened up, Fran. What did they do?
Well, I don't know, but they blitzed.
They got a good block on Toll there.
Oh, Henry Lawrence.
Henry
Lawrence knocked him down. That's the trouble. The blitz is usually very effective against the run. Good tackle. But if you ever split that blitz, you've got a pretty good gainer, which they did. Good block by Henry Lawrence.
Ball is placed in position. The clock has started. We're ticking off the seconds. We're inside. 2 minutes and 40 seconds remaining in the game. Oakland, 3rd down, about a foot for a 1st down.
Everybody thinks they run left. Say aye.
Aye.
And the ayes have it.
1st down is Mark Van Egan behind Art Shell and Gene Upshaw, and that is going to be very tough on Miami as seconds continue to tick off.
I think that even really, the fact that we can sit here and do that and everybody else can too is you have to give those blockers even more credit, because you know that defense knows that's where they're coming to.
Particularly Art Shell. Now, he has not seen any action since the 2nd preseason game. He's in there tonight, just activated today. There is the 2-minute warning. Mike Curran, right offensive tackle for the Miami Dolphins. He's had a long night. 2-minute warning. We'll be back. Oakland has a 1st and 10. And, of course, Howard Cosell and our regular director, Chet Forty, are both in Baltimore. Well, we'll be bringing you the 1st game of the World Series between Baltimore and Pittsburgh tomorrow night. Frank Gifford along with Don Meredith Fran Tarkenton reporting the action for you. 2 minutes remaining in the contest. Oakland has the football. This is the 8th play of their drive, working on the clock. And by the way, it's the Oakland's longest of the night. Handoff on first down as Jensen over the left side. Gets a couple of yards. It'll be 2nd and 8. Rusty Chambers out there defensively. And we have a timeout called by Miami. There's Jack Tatum. They reported a hip pointer. And he came off the field, but he appears to be all right.
Sandy, since this is my first time to work with you, I haven't had the privilege to hear you sing at this time of the game, and I think it's almost time for your song, and I'll hum.
Do you know those words?
I don't know them. I'm going to hum for you.
Well, let's give them one more time. I mean, something could happen. It's almost time. You have to be very delicate in a situation like that.
Well, you're experienced in these matters, you know, and I'm not.
Yeah, because I've never miscalled one, you see, Fran. There's a record in there.
Frustrating night for Don Shula. The offense came to life in the second half. A couple of misplays deep in Oakland territory has been the major difference.
I think in that first quarter and a half when Miami was out there, it seemed like to me that they were confused. They didn't have something, I don't know whether Oakland was doing something different defensively, but I felt they were really very tentative. And you're right, they just got off to such a slow start. Tried to make a good comeback here in the second half.
I don't think either offense has much to be proud of tonight, really. Miami moved the ball some in the second half, but they didn't get it across the goal line, and that's what the payoff on. And Larry is one who can be, because Zonka's had some kind of night.
I'm just going to say, he has put on quite a show. 2nd down and 8. The ball at the 41-yard line of the Miami Dolphins. Getting the call is Derek Jensen. He pounds around the right side, down to the 35-yard line. He bobbled the football. Let's see who has it.
I swear to you what I was just thinking, because when I saw him go down, he had that ball out in one hand, hanging up in the arm. I said, man, he's going to fumble like that.
I felt the vibration.
Did you see it?
I knew you were thinking. I looked at that. I saw you thinking that.
Isn't that amazing how strong those things are?
It really is.
And slow to get up is Norris Thomas.
125 and counting, Dandy.
Just give me one more play.
All right, Oakland coming up with the ball. Another first down. They can pretty well lock it up, and that would drop Miami, of course, back into a tie with New England. Oakland would enter the picture in the AFC's Western Division race. 3rd down, 3. Jensen gets the call, and he gets the first down. Down to the 31-yard line. First down, Oakland.
The party is
inside
over.
1 minute. We'd like to thank our spotter, Steve Bazika, and our statistician, Mike Swanson. Thank Andy Sedaris, who joined us tonight in relief of Chet Forty, who, as I mentioned before, is in Baltimore with Uncle Howard for the telecast of the World Series tomorrow night.
Uncle Howard, what is that? Way to go, Sedaris. All right, Francis, it's been kind of fun. We'll see you, next week, Sunday in Dallas?
Sunday night in Dallas for the Rams and the Cowboys, and I can't wait. That's going to be a good one.
And the next night, we get your old boys up in New York City.
Yes, we will.
Jensen over the left side. We mentioned Larry Zonka's night, 83 yards for him. Del Williams went 86 yards. And a timeout called by Miami, 18 seconds remaining in the game, and we'll be back in a moment. Ted Hendricks, who was responsible for one of Miami's 3 turnovers, and he rumbled in with a Bob Greasy interception for a touchdown.
You wonder how he gets it with that thumb. I think that's what he's trying to point out. He said, I did that thing with no fingers. No thumb.
Hello.
Oh, there it is.
There
are the 3 ducks.
Oh, boy. 3 what?
Can you say that again, Frank?
3 good old boys. 18 seconds on the clock. Miami, no timeouts. They can't stop it again. That'll be the football game. Oakland has dropped their record to 3-3. Denver in their division, Kansas City and San Diego all 4-2. Miami, they drop back into a tie with the New England Patriots in the Eastern Division of the AFC. And Don Shula, he'll always be there. And he'll be there at the end of the year. Taking the long stroll, the one that he does not like, on the losing end of a football game. We'll be back. Certainly was not a Pittsburgh-Cleveland game where they piled up over 900 yards of offense yesterday. These 2 teams tonight, both struggling, both having their problems. In any event, Miami loses. They fall back to a tie with New England in the AFC's Eastern Division, while the Oakland Raiders are back in the thick of it again in the Western Division of the AFC. We'll see Miami and New England later, and we'll also see San Diego and Oakland. All right, once again, the final score, Oakland 13, Miami 3. Join us next Sunday for a special edition of ABC's NFL Football. The Los Angeles Rams against the Dallas Cowboys from Texas Stadium in Irving. Then on Monday night, the Minnesota Vikings take on the New York Jets from Shea Stadium in New York. We'll be there also for that one. The executive producer of ABC Sports, as always, is Roone Arledge. ABC's NFL Monday Night Football, produced by Dennis Lewin and directed by the round one, Andy Sedaris. Our technical director, Joe Nisi. Associate director, Rob Feiner. Will be with us this week for the 1979 World Series. It'll begin tomorrow night at 8 Eastern Time. The Pittsburgh Pirates versus the Baltimore Orioles from Memorial Stadium in Baltimore. This is Frank Gifford along with Don Meredith and Fran Tarkenton saying so long from Oakland, California. Our blimp has been provided by the Goodyear Tire and Rubber